This is an AQA Psychology GCSE revision video for the Paper 1 topic of development, with a specific focus on Carol Dweck's mindset theory on learning. So Carol Dweck was interested in why some children are motivated by failure, whereas others just see failure as the time to give up. So she introduced the mindset theory and distinguished between two mindsets, a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. So a growth mindset is where children see failure as an opportunity to grow. They won't give up if they fail at a task. They see challenges as an opportunity to help grow, to help learn, and they would like to try new things out. They also believe that intelligence isn't something that you're born with, and intelligence can be improved on through experience and through learning. Whereas a fixed mindset is essentially the opposite. Failure is the limit of my abilities. I can't go beyond that. I've failed for a reason. I can't move beyond that. I don't like to be challenged. My intelligence is fixed, it's innate. Whatever I'm born with, that's all I'm going to have for the rest of my life. So there's no point trying to improve it. So those are the characteristics of a fixed and a growth mindset, which you will need to be able to know and sort of describe. So maybe just pause the video and have a look at some of those statements that you could take forward to explain the difference between a fixed and a growth mindset. It is important to acknowledge, however, that Dweck did say it's not one or the other, it's a continuum. So individuals could have a strong growth mindset with some fixed mindset beliefs. So instead of falling entirely on the growth mindset part, they might fit a bit more here. And vice versa, you could be a fixed mindset, but you could have some growth mindset beliefs, so about here on the continuum. So Dweck did not say it's one or the other. She did acknowledge that it is a continuum. However, just focusing on fixed and growth mindsets, just a chance to apply your learning. So just take this opportunity to pause the video, and in 5 seconds I will go through the answers as to whether they represent a fixed or a growth mindset. Okay, so we'll go through the answers, and for this activity I will highlight the fixed comments in red and all the others will be growth mindsets. So if I'm not good, I may as well give up. That is definitely a fixed mindset. It's no good me trying because I don't have the ability is also a fixed mindset. I enjoy a challenge. I am a really good reader and I look at others succeeding and think I can do the same, and I can put in effort and change my abilities are all examples of growth mindsets. So take those examples, add those to your notes and use them to help yourself explain what a fixed and a growth mindset is. But Dweck was specifically focusing on how mindsets affect learning. So that is the bit that we are now going to move on to. How do these mindsets affect learning? So a fixed mindset affects learning because when individuals are faced with a challenge, they will give up quickly and therefore don't learn as much. Whereas a growth mindset, they will keep trying and therefore will be able to learn. And ultimately it leads to success because they understand that they can do anything they put their mind to. Dweck also spoke about the need for self-efficacy, which links into having a growth mindset. So by definition, self-efficacy is the belief in your own abilities to succeed at a task. And this can be affected by a number of different things. So you can have a quick pause of the video and think about what affects your ability to succeed at a task. So you might have said things like past experience, parents, teachers, people around you, and comments that they might make. So past experiences of our failure and our success do lead us to have expectations on future performance. So if I'm trying to learn Spanish, for example, and I feel really confident, but then I go to Spain and Spanish people ridicule me for how I speak their language, that might decrease my self-efficacy at learning Spanish. So your past experiences of whether you're successful or not can affect your future performance and your self-efficacy. So your verbal comments from parents or teachers. So teachers who allow students to experience success using different levels of tasks can improve your self-efficacy. Maths teachers are notoriously good at this in terms of maybe starting algebra, starting at quite a low level of simple algebraic equations and gradually scaffolding and improving your self-efficacy. Once you solve one equation, you can solve the next. So just to round up Dweck's theory and everything covered so far, there are some AO1 key points on the board with the green, the sort of main points to learn, so you can have a read through of those, and then we're going to move on to evaluate Dweck shortly. Okay, so the main strength of Dweck's theory is that there is research evidence to support this idea of fixed and growth mindsets and how they affect learning. So let's have a look at the details of this study. So Dweck took 48 low achieving students to take part in the study. Half of the students went on a course and they were taught how intelligence is something like a muscle where it can grow if you exercise it well enough. So they were encouraged and taught about a growth mindset. And the other half of the students just went on a course where they were taught about memory, so nothing to do with mindsets. And if you just pause the video and have a think about the answers to these questions, we will go through the answers in 5 seconds. Okay, so of course the group who were taught the growth mindset did move on to have improved motivation and grades. So this supports Dweck's mindset theory because it shows that a growth mindset is something that can be taught and is something that is better for learning and can lead to success, which is what Dweck suggested. So it's definitely a piece of AO3 evaluation, a strength to use of Dweck. It was also an independent measures or an independent group design that was used. And so that's just a bit of research methods revision thrown in there, just thinking about what experimental design was used in case you are asked to figure something like that out in your exam. Another evaluation point is a criticism of Dweck. And I want you to think about what might be wrong with telling children how well they do in school is down to them and their mindset. And then think of other reasons that you could maybe alert Dweck to as to, it's not just a mindset that affects children's ability to learn. What other things would affect an individual's ability to learn? And in 5 seconds, I'll talk through how you would use this as a criticism for Dweck. Okay, so a weakness of Dweck's theory is that it does place way too much emphasis on having the right mindset. Therefore, it blames children for their own underperformance and struggles. You failed because you don't have a growth mindset. You failed because you don't think failure is an opportunity to learn. Rather than actually, it could be due to a lack of resources, could be due to a lack of money in the household, or even poor teaching. So Dweck doesn't really acknowledge that, and therefore it is a massive weakness of Dweck for her to sort of place everything on the child and their mindset. However, we're going to go back to another strength now of Dweck, in which that it does have real world application. And if you just have a little read of the quote by Michael Jordan, one of the best basketball players of all time, he said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career, lost almost 300 games, 26 times I've been trusted to take the game, winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. To succeed, you have to fail and learn from your failures." So thinking about mindsets and Dweck's theory, what mindset does Michael Jordan have? And although this is the context of sport, could you apply this elsewhere? This idea of having a growth mindset and how it could be useful. And also think about what real world application Dweck has here. So 5 seconds and then I'll go through the answers. Okay, so if we start with the bottom question, Dweck's theory has real-world application because it's used in a variety of contexts and settings to see learning in a positive light and help people improve, help people understand that if they try hard, they can do well at things. Okay, apart from sports, Dweck's theory can be applied to schools, as we've already looked at, about how it can help students improve in their learning, but it could also be used in workplaces to encourage people to access promotions, etc. And Michael Jordan does, of course, have that growth mindset, and his comments here are a perfect example of why a growth mindset is so useful. So just thinking about how we put those evaluation points into effective paragraphs, there is a point, evidence, conclude, structure here for each of the 3 evaluation points we've looked at in this video. And this is your opportunity to pause the video. It is the end of the video, but if you'd like to pause it and write out those frames and use the video to help you support you in writing those paragraphs. Remember, 3 evaluation paragraphs are encouraged if you are aiming for a grade 9, grade 8 or 9 in fact. So if you're happy with a grade 7 or below, then just take 2 of your favourite strengths or weaknesses from this video for your evaluation of DWEC. And that concludes the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it useful.